So MLB released their top 10 starting pitchers, and it was atrocious to say the least. Starting off
Yeah.
at number 1 with Corbin Burns, 2 Justin Verlander, 3 Carlos Rodon, 4 Max Scherzer, 5 Sandy Alcantara, 6 Shohei Ohtani, 7 Max Fried, 8 Zach Wheeler, 9th Jacob deGrom, and 10th Julio Urias. There's some big names left off this list, and there's some names that should not be on this list that are in this list, and then there's a lot of names on here that are just in the wrong spot. Speaking of the top 10, we should get into it. I think we each go back and forth. We'll count from 10 down.
Okay. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dugout. We're here with episode 18. Just me and Ben again for you guys. And we have another top 5 as well as top 10 starting pitchers. We both made a list because the original one is just so bad. So we remade them and something else we were going to talk about. But we'll get right into it. Starting with MLB The Show cover. Ben, how do you feel about Jazz being the cover athlete?
A lot of people expected J-Rod, even someone like Juan Soto to be on the cover. So Jazz was kind of out of left field. He is very close with the people that make the game and whatnot. And then they started teasing stuff, and the hints that they were dropping started to point fingers towards Jazz, and people weren't too happy about it. But
yeah.
I think I don't hate it. Like the cover looks good. I could really honestly care less who's on it. He's a marketable player. Like I get the beef people have with it because, he hasn't accomplished much, like frankly at all. He is a really good, young, exciting player, but he hasn't really been able to put entire season together, an entire workload. But he is a very exciting player. A lot of swag on the field, extremely electric. He's got the potential to be a very special player. But as of right now, it was definitely a questionable choice.
Yeah, when they started showing like all the colors, that's kind of when everyone kind of figured it out. Me personally, I thought it was going to be J-Rod, but I'm kind of with you. I don't really care who's on it, except that one year when Baez was on it. I was a little upset, but yeah. Who else do you think should have been on it though, other than J-Rod?
Soto could have definitely. Soto,
any other names
for
just
sure.
pop into your head?
Yeah. I don't really know who else.
Do you think Aaron Judge could have been on it again?
I don't think they would have done it that close together. No, I don't think he shouldn't have been either. But
yeah, I feel like they couldn't have done Ohtani either, right? Because he was he
no, he was this year.
One, like the most
recent?
He
was this year's. Yeah,
last year. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like Vladdy Jr.
And then the one before that was Tatis.
Vladdy Jr. could have definitely been on it.
I was thinking Albert.
Yeah, definitely could have.
Albert Pujols.
The way they have it though is like once they like immediately retire, like once you retire, you're out of the MLBPA, and then you have to like buy their rights back. So I don't think they ever got around to trying to buy Albert's rights back within a couple months. My mic keeps falling over. This is so...
What about you're good. What about the deluxe edition? How do you feel about Jeter?
It's cool. I mean, like I don't hate it at all. I know he was definitely last year. What happened was on the Nintendo Switch store, they had the deluxe edition. It was Jeter, and everyone was freaking out, like, oh, like Jeter's in the game, and then Jeter was never in the game. He was never the cover, so it was very weird. And then this year, it happened. So I mean, cool to see. It's cool to have him back in the game. His card's going to be way better than what it should be because he wasn't that great of a player. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a cool face to have on the cover for sure.
Yeah, I really like the cover art as well. I think it's pretty cool. Was he ever in the game?
Not since he's retired. Ever? No, I don't think. I think he's been out since then.
That's what I thought. I'm not sure if it was something I'm not sure. I think he didn't even want to be in the game or something.
Yeah, no, probably not.
I'm not too sure, but it took long enough. All right, Ben, kick us off for what top five we're doing this
So today
week.
we're doing the top 5 pirates of all time. Um, as of recently, the Pirates pretty poverty. Not too many names come out of there. But
Yep.
historically, a very good franchise. I forget which decade it was, but the Bill Mazeroski teams and things like that. So to kick it off at number 5, we have Ralph Kiner, who's a Hall of Famer, 6-time All-Star, 369 home runs, 1,400 hits, a 279 batting average, 48 career WAR. He's a bit of a weird one in the Hall of Fame sense
Yeah.
because you look at the numbers, they're not great. There's very comparable players to him that aren't in the Hall of Fame. But for that era, like when you hit 51 home runs in 1947 and 54 and 49, he led the league in home runs one,
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in a row in the late 40s and early 50s, which really wasn't a big, power generation. He definitely deserves it. So we got Ralph Kiner at 5.
Yeah. You just mentioned it. 54 home runs and 49. That was his best season with the Pirates. Along with those 54 home runs, 127 RBIs and
Yeah.
117 walks. And he also slashed 310, 432, and 658. So, yeah. And his career with the Pirates was less than
Yeah,
a
it wasn't very
decade, I
long.
believe.
It was not
I
very
can see
long.
real quick. Yeah, it was 7 years. So, yeah, there you have it. Kiner in our number 5 spot. Let's see. Number 4, we went with Willie Stargell. I wrote down everyone's best season with the team. So his best season was with 1971, 48 home runs, 125 RBIs, and 83 walks. Played his whole career with the Pirates, led the NL in home runs in both 71 and 73. Won an MVP somewhere in there in the mix. Yeah, just number 4 spot. We got Willie.
Number 3, we got Barry Bonds. So this one was tough. Obviously, in any list, Barry Bonds is going to be number 1. But we wanted to, stick to the whole, he's known as a giant. When you say the name Barry Bonds, you picture him in San Francisco. But as a Pirate, 2 MVPs. He had 3 Gold Gloves, 3 Silver Sluggers. Should have had a third MVP in '91. He finished second. But that's the thing is, people don't realize that Barry had a Hall of Fame career as it is in Pittsburgh itself before he moved
Yep.
on to San Francisco. So he falls at number 3 for us, just purely based on longevity. He did start in Pittsburgh, but everyone remembers him as a Giant. So
If he stayed with the Pirates for like
yeah,
2 more years,
yeah,
I'd put
I
one
probably
on this
would too.
list, 100%. But even like you just said before the Giants, he was really good still
Yeah.
with the Pirates. So I don't know, man. But yeah, Barry Bonds at the number 3 spot. Here we go. Number 2, we have Honest Wagner. Best season as a Pirate, 1908. That's
I know.
crazy. 1908. Wow. Slash 354, 415, 542 with 10 home runs, 109 RBIs. Greatest shortstop in the history of the Pirates,
For sure.
no doubt about that. Won 8 NL batting titles while also leading the NL in on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, OPS plus, doubles, RBIs, stolen bases in at least 3 seasons. So one of the OGs right there.
And number 1, to no surprise, we have Roberto Clemente. Goes without saying, he is Mr. Pirate. 21 obviously retired there. He's a Hall of Famer. He's an MVP, 15-time All-Star, 12-time Gold Glove winner, 4-time batting title winner. Won 2 World Series with them. Has a World Series MVP. Smack in the nose at 3,000 hits, 240 career home runs, 317 career batting average, a 94.8 career WAR. His best season was easily his MVP season in '66. He had 317, 29 home runs, 896 OPS, 536 slug. He had 342 total bases, which is just nuts. And then outside of baseball, just like the impact he had, in what was it, Puerto Rico or the DR? Puerto Rico. The impact he had in Puerto Rico, obviously, that's the way he passed, was flying back
Yeah.
to Puerto Rico. And then the impact he left around the league. He's gonna be well known. We might see his number retired one day. All the Hispanic players wear 21. One day a year on Roberto Clemente Day. Obviously has an award named after him as well. Just a
Yep.
massive figure in baseball for all the right reasons. A great player, even better person. So he is number one for us. One of the greatest players to ever live.
Yeah.
It's just Roberto Clemente. There's not much else to say. So
Yeah, I mean, if you have an award named after you, I mean,
exactly.
pretty much says it. Pirates all-time
Yep.
leader in hits with
Yeah.
exactly 3,000, 15-time All-Star. I mean, yeah, that dude was him. So there you have it. Top 5 Pirates. If you disagree with us, be sure to let us know. We'll always take a look. But yeah, there you have it. Moving on, and speaking of Barry Bonds a little bit, there was a thread on Twitter that listed a ton of Barry Bonds facts, and Ben kind of skimmed through it, but I'm going to be reading him a few, and we're just going to talk about one of the GOATs. So starting off, Ben, I'll give you the first fact I found. From 2001 to 2004, Barry Bonds played in 573 games and reached base in 539 of them. That's 94. It's 94% of his games.
What? I mean, no, that's silly.
I mean,
that is absolutely silly. 94%.
it's unheard of. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's no. I mean, it's Barry Bonds. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, unheard of.
Nobody will ever do that again.
Just right to
Nobody will ever
break
do
it
that
off. So no, absolutely not. Alrighty, next. This one's crazy. All right. In 2004, Barry Bonds had 4 more home runs than strikeouts in the season.
Oh my god.
I just can't stand the steroid argument, man. Like if AJ was here right now, we would
That's the thing. Like steroids don't make you strike out.
He would hate us.
Like you still have to hit the ball.
Exactly. Like
4 more.
I'll keep saying it. We say it almost every podcast. He was just as good
100%.
with the Pirates. Like, so this is my favorite one right here. Barry Bonds had 25 more intentional walks than the entire Tampa Bay Rays franchise.
That's
the entire
hilarious.
franchise.
That is hilarious.
Even when they would try to walk him, he'd still find a bad pitch and just.
That's why I'm pissed they took it away.
Out.
Like I hate that they just send him down. Like you should have to pitch to them because you saw so many people screw up and throw the ball away.
Yeah.
And runs would score or whatever. Like that. I mean, that I found that fun. It was part of the game. I don't know. It's so dumb that you can just say, "Oh, 100%. We're walking him." It's not baseball.
How do you feel about all the new rules implemented?
I like the no
bigger
shift.
Bags.
No more shift is good. I hated the shift. I mean, I can see it both ways. I did hate that players complained about the shift as a reason why they were doing bad. It's like Joey Gallo would complain about the shift all the time, and it's like Joey Gallo, you are a power hitter.
Exactly.
Hit the ball over their head, and you won't have that issue. But no, you strike out every time, so you can't complain about the shift. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy. It was getting absolutely silly. You can't have 6 people on one side of the field, and but at the same time, it's then just push bunt down the other way. It's not that difficult, but I think it is better for the game. I think it gives us a more natural game as well. So the bigger bags, I mean, I don't find too much of an issue with it.
You think stealing numbers are going to be crazy now, or
I don't know.
Really?
Maybe slightly.
It's probably gonna.
I mean, it's just
probably
the
really slight.
few bang plays that there are. I don't know. I even as a catcher, I don't have too big of an issue with it.
What was the last one? Didn't they add something else?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Maybe not. I think that's it. Alrighty, well, yeah, that was definitely my favorite. Just 25 more intentional walks than an entire franchise. Like what? There's got to be another team close to that, probably. Like the A's, the Angels, something ridiculous. From ages 38 to 42, Barry Bonds stole 21 bases and was only caught once. There you have that.
See, like that's like the only like PED thing. Like I guess you could really argue with me, but like again, like I don't really care about stolen bases. But yeah, like when you're stealing bases when you're 42, it's a little at that size too. At that size as well.
Little sketchy.
I still don't care. Like it. You still have to like get a good jump. You still have to make good. Like getting caught one time that's more than just PEDs. So. Yeah,
out of 21 bases,
there's skill that goes to that. It's not PEDs entirely.
Yeah, for sure. Last one here. This is probably the best fact, in my opinion. If Barry Bonds played his home games at Coors Field in 2001, he would have tailed 88 home runs. 88 home runs.
I hope we get to see like someone hit like 80 home runs in a season, but like that's like homering in half your games is like, ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it'd be so fun to watch.
Trying to think like how people would like react. Like if what did he hit? 71's the record. 71. What did he hit?
I can't
something
remember.
Like that,
but I don't. Yeah, that's
88.
Watching
it's
him
like 71
if we gotta watch
88
play at Coors for
home
his whole
runs.
career, like, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really you can say about that. If you're hitting 88 home runs in a season,
the guy is just a jaw-dropping talent. 49.1% of his career hits were
always
extra
making
base
his
hits.
name.
Like, that is ridiculous, though.
I'm pretty sure he already. And then everyone tries to make the argument about him like being a defender. He's not an outfielder, but
he does,
had like a ton of Gold Gloves before he even came to the Giants. So I mean,
he has a career OPS of 986 versus Hall of Fame pitchers. Like,
exactly. So I mean, and everyone was doing it. Like we say this almost every time we bring up Barry Bonds. Like everyone was doing steroids.
Of select few guys, they came in McGuire, and then even
better.
McGuire, he was worlds better than McGuire. Like the guy is just, it's not, he's untouchable. He'll never ever, his numbers will never ever be touched.
Yeah. So there you have it. Some little Barry Bonds information. We love talking about him. I mean, he's one of the GOATs. He'll always be brought up in this podcast multiple times. So there you have it. Ben, you can go ahead and kick us off for our starting pitchers if you want. Or we should probably read the original.
MLB released their top 10. This is MLB Network's top 10 starting pitchers. And it was atrocious, to say the least. So, starting off at number 1 with Corbin Burns, 2 Justin Verlander, 3 Carlos Rodon, 4 Max Scherzer, 5 Sandy Alcantara, 6 Shohei Ohtani, 7 Max Fried, 8 Zach Wheeler, 9th Jacob deGrom, and 10th Julio Urias. There's some big names left off this list, and there's some names that should not be on this list that are in this list. And then there's a lot of names on here that are just in the wrong spot. Like Zach Wheeler isn't the best pitcher on his team. Max Fried also, I mean, I love Max Fried. He's a great pitcher. He deserves to be in the top 10. Also was not the best pitcher on his team this past year. Rodon, he's not the 3rd best pitcher in the league by any measure. You can't tell me he's better than Sandy Alcantara.
Nope.
Julio Urias.
Well, can you say Rodon's better than Cole, who's not even on this list?
He's not. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he's not the number 1 in New York.
It really makes you question this.
Like Sandy at 5 is ridiculous. Urias, like you can make a
just won a Cy Young.
He's in my top 10 as well, but There's a lot of names left off this list. So I
Did you have
did.
any
I
honorable
did.
mentions?
I had 3
All right,
honorable
I did too.
mentions.
So
So Spencer Strider was one. The reason why
dude, I
I
didn't.
didn't want to put him in my top 10 is because it's been a year. I can't put someone who pitched a year, not even a full year at that, in my top 10. My next honorable mention was Framber Valdez. Again, the reason I'm not going into the
Yeah.
top 10 with him yet is because, he moved into the rotation role full time realistically this year, started pitching like a starting pitcher realistically this year, because previous years it was much shorter outings and things like that. So if he can keep it up, then he's easily a top 10 pitcher. And then my last honorable mention is Shane Bieber. I really wanted to get Bieber in the top 10. He was originally in the top 10, but he had to get kicked out over some of these other names. But Shane Bieber cracks my honorable mention list. Yeah.
Gotcha. My honorable mentions, I just had 3 as well.
Yep.
I had Logan Webb. I also had Shane Bieber and Zach Wheeler as well.
Those are 3 good ones as well.
So, and yeah, I did not even think of Spencer Strider.
Again, all 3 of these guys
even
were
for an honorable mention.
Yeah, all 3 of these guys were in the top 10 at some point while I was making it. Speaking of the top 10, we should get into it. I think we each go back and forth. We'll count from 10 down. So number 10 for me was Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he had his best pitching year to date. It feels like he continues to get better on the bump. His mechanics have cleaned up a bunch. He's a video game character. That's what he is. I mean, outside of obviously, we know what he does at the plate, but pitching, like I said, continues to get better. Had his best year. He's number 10 for me. It was hard not to. I had to credit the season that he had, because last year he had a good season, won MVP, and this year he had an even better season on the bump. So, had to be in the top 10.
Yeah, I had him a lot higher, but yeah. All right, number 10. I actually had Aaron Nola. Just going to the World Series. I mean, really being there for his team. I don't know. I really liked how he played last season.
Yeah.
I've always liked him, and I really wanted him in this top 10 as well.
All right, so number 8 for me, I had Julio Urias. 17-7 this past year, moved into that like ace role as Kershaw starts to age, and Kershaw's not the Kershaw that we know. I mean, he had 2.16 ERA this past year, 31 games started, only 42 earned runs in 175 innings, which is pretty crazy. 166 strikeouts. Urias is 8 for me. Could be higher, sure. I couldn't bring myself to justify putting him over the rest of the guys on my list, so he falls at 9.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't get behind him for some reason.
I'm not
He's not
huge
in my
on
list,
him, but he had a pretty nutty season this year, so I had to.
My number 9, I had Carlos Rodon. Moved down a ton from where he was on the original list, which I agree how it should be. Yeah, I mean, just had a really good stint with the Giants. It's really exciting to see. He's coming over to the big lights in New York, so he's going to have to perform well, or else he's going to be booed. I mean, that's how it is. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what he can do this season. Just really electric. So, Carlos Rodon, number 9.
Number 8, I have Aaron Nola at 8. I think he is the best pitcher on that Philly staff. I would take him over Zach Wheeler. The numbers at a glance aren't. You don't love them at a glance. You don't love a 3.25 ERA. Although in today's game that isn't very good. But when you look at 235 strikeouts in 205 innings, that's where it gets you. I saw a video of guys talking about Aaron Nola, and I won't get into it. I'll have to research it myself. But they were basically saying that Aaron Nola's on a Hall of Fame track, and people don't really pick up on it or appreciate it. So That would be an interesting research study, but yeah, Aaron Nola 8 for me.
Yeah, he's just like
Yeah,
he's more
for
under the
sure,
radar.
100%.
Like
And
not a lot of
I
people
think
pick
now
up
that the
on him, but
Phillies have the spotlight, I think people are going to start to realize how good he is. He pitched great in the postseason as well. Um, I love him. I think I, I could make a case for him
yeah,
being a top six pitcher um, on a consistent
yeah,
basis. But Aaron Nola, number 8.
yeah. Love Aaron Nola. Number 8, I had someone that blew my mind that wasn't on the top 10 was
Mm-hmm.
Zach Gallen. Incredible,
Mm-hmm.
like with the Diamondbacks, just
Yeah,
unbelievable, and just makes no sense how he wasn't on this
he
list.
is
Is
on
he
my
on your
list.
list?
He
If I
is on
mind
my
asking.
list.
Yeah. So I mean, it makes 0. So like, I really don't know who made
I don't
this
either.
top 10
It's
starting
awful.
pitchers because it is.
It's a terrible list.
Who you got
7,
at
we have
number
Alek
7?
Manoah, another guy left off the list. I mean,
Hmm.
this year, 16-7, 2.24 ERA, 196 innings, had 180 strikeouts. And not to mention, he is the Yankees silencer as well. So it's a guy that loves the bright lights. He loves the attention. He loves the stage. All-Star game starter this year as well. Was he? Yeah, yeah. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he had an incredible
Yeah, I think he
season. So
was.
he's again, like, he's continued to get better. He's a big prospect for them. He's their ace from here on out. So another young guy, young arm. He's a fun pitcher to watch. There's not too many fun pitchers to watch. He's a fun, exciting pitcher to watch. So he is number 7 for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate watching him. So I mean, he's nowhere on my list.
Oh
Sorry.
man.
This is gonna shock a lot of people and probably gonna have a lot of people pissed off. But number 7, I put Jacob DeGrom. The man's always injured.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. He's
Hmm.
one of the best pitchers to play the game. But based
Right.
on recent events, recent seasons, I'm putting him at number 7. I don't think he wanted to stay with the Mets,
No.
to be honest with you. I think there's no way Steve Cohen didn't.
Yeah.
The way he was spending, I mean, and if you look at the Mets offseason, it's
Yeah.
all pitching
Yeah.
basically. I mean, they signed Nemo, but you're telling me you're not going to go after Jacob DeGrom. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think he wanted to stay
I think
there.
it was slightly mutual. I'm sure obviously you don't want to give up Jacob DeGrom, but for the money that he was demanding,
Yeah.
for the Mets, it didn't make too much sense based on the production you got from him over the past few years. Well, number 6, I have Zach Gallen at 6. 2.54 ERA, 184 innings, 192 strikeouts. I mean, he had his best season to date. He looked like a true ace. And again, just very undervalued and underappreciated because he plays in Arizona. So, say
Yep.
what you want about that, but Zach Gallen he's a dude. He's a dude. So he's 6 for me.
I feel like he could have been someone like he should have been someone in trade talks.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel
Yeah.
like Arizona could have
Yeah.
got
I mean, that's the thing. Like,
something
if I
from
was
the
Arizona, like, I
package.
wouldn't want to trade him. But if I was other teams, I would definitely make calls about Zach
Yeah.
Gallen. I mean, he's only 28. It's not too old. You can get at least 4 years out of him, and have him be an ace. Like the Twins should have jumped on that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Twins should have been on
Yeah.
all pitching, like literally the whole deadline. But yeah, that's a good spot for him. Yeah. Number 6, I
Mm-hmm.
put Max Scherzer, and it's getting to the point where like everyone above him, I really can't put him any higher. He's great. First year with the Mets. How much longer
It
is
was
he
a
with
2-year
the
deal.
Mets? I don't remember his
So
contract. I think
one more. Yeah.
so. This is his last. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I really feel like I couldn't put
He's
him
not.
higher.
He's not
These
on my
other names
list.
I have. So
He's not.
really, hey man, this is what it is.
Number
That's your
5, we
list.
got Jake DeGrom.
It's your opinion.
Again, like,
Wait, is this your number?
this
Is
is
this
my
your
number
number 6
5.
pick?
You just did 6. Yeah.
This is your
You
number
just did
5.
6. You had Scherzer at 6, no?
Yeah, but I thought, are we both like
Yeah,
giving our own list? All right. All right. Keep going.
5 we got DeGrom. Same reasons as Drew. It comes down to health. Otherwise, he's 1 or 2. He's the most dominant pitcher on the planet when he's healthy. But again, it's a big if. So that's why he's at 5.
Yeah. Next, I had Corbin Burns, the big
Mm-hmm.
number one on their list. I don't know, like what was his
Last
ERA
season,
last
it
season?
was
Can you bring that up, or
it was two
like, did he have?
94. We struck out
Okay,
243 guys.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he's in the same boat as Zach Gallen. Like not a lot of talk behind him too much because he plays with Milwaukee. Definitely, I don't know. You definitely got to respect him. He's definitely talented, but number one just
Yeah, number one's crazy. Number one's
doesn't
crazy.
add up to me.
All right, so
All
cracking the
right,
top
we'll keep it
5
moving.
to number 4, I got Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease is, I mean,
Wow.
227 strikeouts in 184 innings this year. He had a 2.2 ERA, 32 games started, almost had a no hitter, so close. I mean, he faced 747 batters as well. Like when you face 747 batters and have a 2.2 ERA, it's quite impressive. But 227 strikeouts to 78 walks. The guy is one of the bright young pitchers in the league, but massively underrated. No one talks about Dylan Cease nearly enough, as the MLB list showed you. I mean, and again, it certainly does come down to the fact that he plays in Chicago, and it's not a great team, not a
Mm-hmm.
contending team. Even though realistically it should have been a contending team the past couple of years, but Dylan sees pure dominance. He's going to be an ace there for a very long time. He falls at number 4 for me.
Next, I had someone that probably didn't cross your mind on this list. Garrett Cole. He's next for me. Um, Last season, everyone was focused on Aaron Judge beating the record. Garrett Cole was doing his own work too. He beat the single season Yankees strikeout record owned by Ron Guidry. I don't know. Garrett Cole's that ace that kind of really reminds me of Ron Guidry almost. So say what you want, Ben, but Garrett Cole's on this
You know who's
list.
higher on Fangraphs pitching than Garrett Cole? Your good
Who?
friend Jordan Montgomery.
Who? Yeah, but he's not a
Garrett
better
Cole is a
pitcher.
30th
He's
ranked
not a better
pitcher
pitcher.
on standard Fangraphs.
I'd go as far as putting.
Garrett Cole's a
Wait,
30th
say
ranked
that again.
pitcher on standard pitching stats on Fangraphs.
Oh my God. Who's
Montgomery's
and Jordan
29. Then you go
Montgomery's right
Bassett,
above him.
Quantrill, Merrill Kelly, Kevin
Wow.
Gausman, Miles Mikolas, Aaron Nola, Gilbert, Kyle Wright, Yu Darvish, Tristan McKenzie, Corbin Burns, Musgrove, Quintana, Webb, Perez, Rodon, Bieber, Valdez, Tyler Anderson, Zach Allen, McClanahan, Farid Otani, Alcantara, Manoah, Cease, Urias, Verlander. Not even close. He's quite far from the top 10.
You're gonna see a change this season.
I
It's gonna
mean,
change.
for what you're paying him, I hope so.
Somebody just said though another for what you just all those people you just listed off. Joe Musgrove. It's another honorable
Yeah,
mention for me.
I forgot about
Another guy that didn't
McClanahan.
even cross
I
my
feel
mind.
bad for leaving McClanahan at least off of my honorable
Yeah.
mention.
He was
Yeah,
injured
yeah.
like at the end of the season, wasn't he? Yeah.
All right, well, moving on to number 3. I had Corbin Burns at 3.
Well,
I think he's one of the most dominant pitchers in the league. His stuff's nasty. I think last year the Brewers as a whole underperformed, so I don't think it was too much on Burns. I mean, for Corbin Burns, like that was a bad year for Corbin Burns, and he still had a 2.94 ERA with 243 strikeouts. Like, and when that's a bad year for you, you're a good pitcher. I do think he is a consensus top 3. Do I think he's number 1 like MLB had? No, but it wasn't the worst part about that list. That's something I can wrap my head around and understand people thinking. But he is at number 3 for me.
Yeah. The biggest thing on that list was
Yeah, that
Rodon
was
being
horrendous. Horrendous.
Makes no sense.
13.
Where's he listed on Fangraphs?
13.
I'd like to know that, to be honest. But wow. All right. Well, next I had Ohtani, based on the sole fact that he can do both, and he's a unicorn. And I think going down the line, like next season, he's gonna have a crazy ERA. I mean, he's just like you said, he's gonna get better and better. And yeah, I mean, can't believe we're even like watching him, to be honest. But yeah.
All right, well, we got 2 left
You already
now.
know who we got. Yeah.
I have Justin Verlander at 2. 175 ERA and 175 innings and 185 strikeouts. He had an incredible season, especially for a guy his age. He just continues to do it.
Coming off Tommy John.
39 years old with those numbers. It's just ridiculous. The guy is just timeless. Had another great postseason run as well. He's number 2 for me.
Yeah, it was hard to put him at 2, honestly, for me. But yeah, based off last season, just coming off surgery and then pitching like that. So yeah, number 2, 100%. Next season, I don't think he's going to be the same. That's just me. I really think he's not going to be the same guy at all. But
especially now you get outside of the dome.
Number
too.
1,
like I feel like he's going to start feeling that a little more.
Oh yeah, just moving to a different place in general.
Pitching in colder weather earlier in the year, you're not inside in Houston. I feel like it's not going to be. It's going to be a fine year for him, but it's not going to be the year we just saw from him by any means.
And reunited with Scherzer, so
it is
pretty cool. And you already know who we have in number 1. This should have been the one on everybody's list. Sandy Alcantara. I mean, the dude just got the keys to the city, Miami. Pretty big deal. So I mean, that
6
right there.
Complete games.
What was his
228 innings,
bro? I mean,
a 2.28 ERA. I mean, he was averaging 7 innings a start. If he's on any other team, like this guy would be the greatest pitcher of all time. But he's on the Marlins, so it sucks. I mean,
yeah, everyone.
Luckily, we're in an era where wins and losses people don't really care about too much anymore because it was only 14-9, which isn't great. But I mean, this guy doesn't really walk people, strikes people out, pitches the entire game. I mean, he's going to be a multi-time Cy Young at this point. He got his first this past year, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even go ahead and say it. I feel like there's still not enough talk about him. I mean, he just won Cy Young, so I mean.
He just won the Cy Young, and they ranked him 5th.
And that definitely. It's definitely just him being in Miami. Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason I have for why they did that. But
100%.
Yeah, very excited to see him the rest of his career. What team did he come from? He was not a Miami prospect, was he? That's what I thought. Yeah.
Cardinals have given up so many good prospects. Yeah.
That hurts.
Well, they had a Rosarena.
Yeah, but everyone talks about Randy being the postseason hero, but I mean, in the regular season, that dude was not.
He's still been better than.
I don't even think he had like an average.
More than anything Dylan Carlson's done. AJ won't like to hear that, but I mean, it's the truth. So.
Well, that's the truth, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like Sandy needs to be heard. No one cares.
Let's see who they've traded away. Yeah.
Cardinals.
Zach Gallen.
Right now, I'm putting Sandy at like the number.
Zach Gallen and Alcantara were in the same trade. That is
They were on the team
hilarious.
together.
So the Marlins traded
Dude, that
Marcell Ozuna
hurts.
to the Cardinals for Daniel Castano, Magnarius Sierra, Sandy Alcantara, and Zach Gallen.
And the Cardinals got who in
Yeah,
return? Ozuna? Or who?
they got Ozuna.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, they traded away Steven Piscotty. I mean, he's not a huge name, but he was he was a fine player.
I'm doing a series like
Yeah,
worst MLB trades. That's gonna have to it's definitely gonna make the cut.
the
100%.
Yankees, and they traded Luke Voigt as well. They traded away
Yeah, but I
Randall
mean, yeah,
Grichuk.
like he was a fluke.
They've traded a lot.
He wait, Randall went to the he was they traded into the Blue Jays. Is that what that says?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, that's what I thought. Now he's on the Rockies. I
He was
always kind of
always
liked
he's
him.
always a
So
solid player. They also traded away Aledmus Diaz,
yeah.
pretty decent player for Houston. There's
Well, since AJ's no longer with us, I think he's 100% gonna have to get on here to have a segment with us about the Cardinals' worst trades in history.
I mean that Marlins trade is bad. I mean, but on the flip side too, like the Marlins have made even worse trades. I mean, they traded away Yelich.
Yeah, but I mean it. Yeah, but the Cardinals one with Sandy and Gallen, you look at that because Wainwright's not there anymore, and I mean you definitely
They
could use
definitely
pitching. I don't know.
I wonder
That's a really bad trade.
what did the Marlins trade when they traded away Zach Allen? Let's find out.
Oh, they weren't traded in it wasn't the same like package.
No, I'm saying when
Gallen and
Gallen went
Sandy.
to Arizona.
Oh yeah,
Let's
yeah,
find
yeah, yeah.
out. Okay. So this is fair. The Marlins traded Zach Gallen to the Diamondbacks in exchange for Jazz Chisholm. I forgot Jazz was a
Oh yeah.
Diamondback. Yeah, yeah.
Forgot Jazz was a. Yeah, he was a. All right, so
I
how
feel
do you
like it's
feel
pretty
about
even.
that then? I mean, that's your franchise. Might be your
I feel
like
like they're both
franchise
cornerstone
player,
players
face of the
for their
franchise, Jazz.
respective teams. I think Gallen. I don't want to say Gallen's been more successful because he's really just had the one good year. But
Yeah, we
I
just saw the
think
one.
they've gotten a full year out of Gallen or a couple full years at least. Whereas Jazz, obviously has the injuries and whatnot. But I think it's going to end up. They're going to look back at it, and both teams are going to be happy. I mean, it was a 1-for-1 trade. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah. It's pretty valid.
yeah, they both arrived 3 years after the trade, and I think it'll end up. I mean, it's going to end up being fine.
How how old is Jazz? He's like, oh my, he's 20. No.
Jazz is 25.
He's 25. He's a little old. Is he 25 or
And then
24?
Gallen's 28, I believe. He's 27. Gallen's 27.
Just turned 25, actually. Yeah. Thought Jazz was like a lot younger, but I guess not. Guess he's still young, but
Yeah.
thought he was like 23. But whatever. Yeah, I would like. That's a team that I really want to see. I want to see the Marlins like do something, acquire people, because you cannot waste. You can't make like have the Angels wasting Trout's talent with Miami
Yeah, but
wasting
see, like the Angels
Sandy's.
haven't like quote unquote tried. The Marlins haven't done a single thing besides this past offseason in
Yeah.
getting a rise. But then, of course, obviously you trade away Paulo Lopez too. But I think the Marlins are too stuck to like being homegrown and waiting for their prospects. So I don't know. I'm not too sure. I think they value the guys they have way too much.
And they still don't have a first baseman yet,
Arise.
do they?
He's gonna play some
Oh,
first.
he is gonna
at
play
least.
first. Oh yeah, because I was Joey
Yeah.
Wendell's playing.
That's the thing. The
shortstop. We
Marlins
talked
also
about it.
value
Nick
their
Stills.
players way more highly than they should. Like they were asking they wanted Tristan Casas if we were in a package trade for like Wendell. Like no, you're not getting Tristan Casas for Joey Wendell. Like it's crazy.
Why isn't Rojas playing
'Cause he's on the
shortstop? I thought Miami had him. Oh yeah, he got traded. Yeah, we just.
Oh, they
said
got
that.
Matt Barnes.
Well, Joey Wendell should not Joey Wendell should not be playing shortstop. Who's their third baseman, Miami?
So their infielders as a whole.
Well, it was Joey Wendell.
Yeah.
No, it
So
was
and
Joey
they got
Wendell.
Segura. He's gonna play second. I think they're gonna have Groshans probably play short this year. And see if he pans out to what he's supposed to be. I mean, they got John Birdie, but he's more of a utility guy. Jacob Amaya will probably play short a bunch as well. Garrett Cooper will play some first. This team's not great. I mean, then their outfielder, it's...
Well, they were talking, I said last pod, that they were trying to get Gurriel, but I don't know if that talk stopped. I mean, it wouldn't really make a difference, to be honest. I don't know.
Their outfield, they got JJ Bleday, who is a prospect. I mean, I think he'll be fine. Avacio Garcia, they overpaid off.
And Jazz,
Garcia. Yeah, Jazz would be in the outfield. I mean, Soler again. Like Soler's, I love Jorge Soler, and the guy, massive power, but he's never been a great player. He's always hit like 210.
No, yeah, he's like...
It's not like he's a guy who hits 210 and hits 40 homers. Like he hits 210 and hits like 25 homers because he's hurt all the time. So I mean,
I think Arise was actually going to play second because Jazz is moving to the outfield, right? So I think they were talking about getting a first baseman. I don't know if Arise will probably end up playing first if they don't get anyone. But
yeah, I mean, I would assume that Segura would play second for the time being.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I guess they try Groshans to see if he ends up panning out. And then like Amaya too is another one of their shortstop prospects who's on the 40-man. So I don't know. I mean, Amaya looks awful. He doesn't look very.
Yeah. Very, very interesting to see Jazz being moved to the outfield. And like you said before, he seems hyped for it. So, I mean, is what it is. I mean, another thing that kind of running out of time, but we can talk about next pod. We'll just bring it up quick. Tatis, I mean, he's probably playing the outfield.
He should, yeah.
I'd assume.
I have certain feelings about that, but yeah, we can save that for next pod.
100%. We already saw a little bit of that.
Yeah,
so
he's overrated.
Yeah.
Tatis, not good.
Wow. We might have to get into that next pod. Is Fernando Tatis Jr. overrated, 100%. Everybody? 100%. Be sure to leave in the comments. Alrighty. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. This podcast is presented to you by Clutch Points. You can listen wherever, Apple Music, Spotify, watch on YouTube, and join me and Ben every week. So, yeah, there you guys have it. Hope you enjoyed Top 5 Pirates. If you disagree, like I said, let us know. And, yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.